Oh, this is way harder than I thought. I did not expect dealing with MRSA and sepsis to be this hard. And the after surgery wound care process to be this hard. We're in week 5. Let me just say it has been a battle. Just emotionally, mentally, physically has been a battle. I think one of the hardest things is every Monday when I see my infectious disease doctor is when I find out if we continue with the daily infusions of treatment. So each Monday I find myself getting hopeful that we're done. And so far I have not heard those glorious words yet. You know, that the daily infusions at least are done. We know that wound care is going to take, you know, about 2-3 more months. The area that they had to remove is about the size of a baseball, so it's pretty big inside, and that's going to take time. And then doing this without any type of pain meds has been brutal, to say the least. I mean, that is just physically taxing and mentally taxing and emotionally taxing. To have to deal with daily wound care where they have to unpack it every day and repack it when it's that big and that deep is hard. This week I saw a post from people who were up in North Dakota for the beet harvest. That was just, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to read because we're supposed to be there right now. That has been a bucket list thing for me. I know, call me crazy, but you know, I just think it would be a ton of fun, and we were hired to do it this year. It's where we're supposed to be right now, and here we are. And then after spending all of the money and time getting everything ready, you know, the excursion built out, to be able to travel full time and not be able to do it right now has been a tough pill to swallow. And I know God's timing is always perfect. I know there's reasons behind all of it, but it still is difficult to swallow. You know, you work so hard creating a plan and getting ready, and life just can knock you upside your head. And this year has just been so hard. I mean, the last 5 years have been really hard for my family, but it's been a hard year. You know, especially the last 3 months. There's some days where words are just hard to come by, you know? It's hard to describe how we feel when trauma just comes knocking at the door. And everything from losing my mother-in-law suddenly a few months back, and then 2 weeks after that, you know, getting the call. Actually, I don't even think it was 2 weeks after. I think it was like a week and a half, getting the call that our son, you know, was being admitted to the hospital because they thought something, you know, was going on with his heart. And then coming back and then having to go back to San Diego for my mother-in-law's service, and then coming back and still having her house to finish. And then a week and a half after that, this happening. And being in the hospital for so long, and then being released, and care still going on, and our lives just being turned upside down. And it's like, I think it's hardest when there's no end in sight, you know? There's no, this is when you're gonna be done. It's like I look back and I think, you know, when I've had strep or, you know, ear infections or what, it's always like, well, you got 10 days, you know, 10 days to take these antibiotics and you know it's going to work, but this time there is no time frame given, and we don't know that it's going to work. You know, the first antibiotic and the one that they use the most to treat MRSA, my body was just not digging on. And it was starting to shut my kidneys down when I was in the hospital, and they had to change. And then this one started to affect my liver count. And then having, you know, my first midline in this arm getting a blood clot and ending back in the hospital 2 days after I got released to get that taken out and get the new one put in. It's just, I'm not gonna lie, it's mentally overwhelming some days. Well, every day it's actually mentally overwhelming, if I'm honest. And it's like yesterday I was at my infusion appointment, and my nurse was having such a hard time getting this midline to work. It wasn't flowing. And I just had my stomach just drop, and I just thought, oh God, we're gonna have to go back to the hospital. There's a blood clot in this side, and I don't even know where they're gonna put it because this one is still dissolving. So then what? Does that mean I have to get a PICC line, which is much more difficult? You just kind of get overwhelmed. So today is Monday, and that means wound care in the morning, and then we go for my infusion, and then we go see my infectious disease doctor, and then we find out today if it's extended another week. So we'll see. I hope today is the day that he says I'm finally done. But I don't know. I mean, if it gets extended, it gets extended. You know, obviously we want to make sure that it's completely gone. But I'm still hopeful that today is the day they finally end it. Be sure to come back tomorrow for tomorrow's vlog. And we'll find out if they extended it and talk a little bit more about how crazy this has been. And I know we're not the only ones going through it these days. You know, whether you are dealing with somebody you love, or yourself going through cancer, or you've just lost somebody you loved, or you've lost your job, or you've lost your home, or you can't find some place to live. I mean, I know life is just hard right now for so many people. I guess my point of finally getting a little more personal and opening up is to not just be real. I mean, people who've, you know, followed my channel, and even, you know, you new people who've been here, I appreciate you watching. And when you look at my other, you know, travel videos and reviews, they're not flashy, you know, it's just real life. We go in and check things out, tell you if it's a good place to visit, if not, the pros and cons. But I don't ever really get personal, and I think that God has just really put it on my heart to get personal because so many people are just going through it. And I think we just need to be more real with each other. Not always pretend that everything is perfect and everything is good, because for so many of us, it's not perfect and it's not good. It doesn't mean that there's not still good things in our life, but when you're going through it, you're going through it. It's like my brother-in-law was here yesterday. He was helping Gary work on my mother-in-law's house. Because it's, you know, it's still not done. We've been so overwhelmed, and I can't do any of it now, so it's all on my husband. And he just, my brother-in-law just gave me a hug, and he's like, God, you guys, this isn't even a trial. This is a flat-out storm you guys are going through. And it's true, you know, but we're still standing. That's a good thing. And we have not lost our faith, and that's an even better thing. So if you are going through it right now, I want to just offer you a word of encouragement. You'll get through it too, just like I will. I know most days it feels like you're not going to, because most days it feels like I'm not going to, but I also know the reality is we're going to get through this.